the council budget workshop, let you kind of go through it with us.
Yeah.
I know this is not any final thing.
Right.
We're going to get the input of everybody here and see what they want. That's what we're going to try to agree on.
Right. And I agree with Betsy too, just thinking on that too. That it's kind of a shot of what the budget committee is kind of looking at and kind of giving, they wanted to kind of provide y'all some information so you could kind of look and see what they're looking at. And if you've got some recommendations, I'm sure they want to hear what you recommend, what you consider to look at, and then of course we'll have other times to get up people make your request in there. I wanted to give just a real brief kind of overview, just to make sure some of y'all have been here on council for a number of years, is probably old news, but some of y'all kind of new. I wanted to kind of just quickly. Basically, we operate off three funds more or less. General fund, which is our big fund, and that's that's where usually our $17–18 million more comes in. Then we have what we call a debt service fund. This is based on 113 mills, and then you got debt service millage, which is 20.5, and that's the debt service. So Fund 10, Fund 20 is those. And then we got what we call our capital projects, which is Fund 45. Those three funds are pretty much the three funds we pretty much work with. We do work with a couple other different funds in here. And I put these in red just to kind of distinguish. Fund 40 is our special revenue fund. That's where some of the grant money, some of the money that comes through Gwen's office. She has different money she can spend stuff specifically for, or the sheriff, mainly the sheriff and those type funds. That's so we keep that kind of separate from there and going in there. Trinity Behavioral is just something that's a state agency. They get money that comes to us. It's kind of a pass-through. It's money that they can't get directly. They have to come through the county because the way the state sets them up. So we do give them a small contribution, about $6,000 a year, but all of their money comes through us. We turn around, it comes in from the state, and we turn around and give it back to them. So it's kind of what I call kind of a pass-through. Fund 44 we created a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and this is Mr. Moses Hayward's fund. It's the LEMPG grant he gets every year to buy equipment and stuff like that. And it's usually not a lot of money, but we do keep it separate. So and then last year we picked up what we call Fund 91, which is the public defender. The public defender can decide, it's really his choice, to decide on which one of the counties in the circuit that he wants to run all of his people through and all his expenses through. And when the law first changed, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago or more, mainly Chesterfield County was handling it. But Michael Stevens decided that he'd like to run it through us, which is really no increase on us or no additional cost to us. We do get a contribution every year of around $54,000, but he's got a lot more expense to that. So when you do see Fund 4091, which I think Richard gives that out with his budget report, that's basically his money. That's his staff, his money, and it just passes through us. We don't give any more, we don't give any less. We just basically run it through there. And we try to keep it about even, which his revenues and expenditures are about even during the year. So we kind of keep up with that part there, so it doesn't cost us anything on that. I will flip over here. The proposed budget that we got this year that you got right here that we're looking at is last year's budget was this number here, 18 million. This is just general fund. This includes debt service or Fund 45 when you go fund. Debt service general fund budget last year was 18,573. And I'm gonna get out some information on that too. The proposed budget that we're looking at now is 17,981,113, which is about a $500-something thousand, $590-something thousand cut. That's about a 3.2% if you run it through your mind. That's about a 3.2% reduction in the budget from the previous year. So let me go through that. I'm gonna go through some of the stuff here, and then I'm gonna let Richard Gaddy finance stuff go through some. I'm gonna give out this information here. We get it every year from Anna Berger. She's with the South Carolina Association of Counties. I'm gonna let you pass them on that first. And the state of South Carolina through the Association of Counties comes up every year along and works with us through the state to come up with the millage numbers and that. And basically, if you look at the state statute, which is 61320, you can only raise the millage rate accordingly to basically skip all this part up here. Basically, down here it shows you what you can do and flips on the back page what you can do and how you can raise millage. The actual CPI this year is 1.62%. is the same, this came from the same email that Anna Hubbard sent. She's kind of Kathy Williams. I don't know if some of y'all remember Kathy Williams, but she took Kathy Williams' place. Is 6.12% is what the rate is at this time. Based on population, the way they come up with it is they base it on population of the previous year versus the current year they look at, which is 2013, 2014. Well, actually, they said we have a little bit of decrease in population based on what the numbers are for us. So, the only thing, you can't get left, even though you may have a negative there, and you can see other counties that got negatives too. You can get a negative, but the minimum CPI is 6.12%. So, it doesn't cut you from that standpoint. So, if you flip on the back of that page, you turn on the back part of it, what this does is the millage cap, what state law provides, and if you read through this section here, that she gave out, this actual written part she gave out, you can actually go back and recap for 3 years, which would be 13, 14, and 15. We didn't go up on any millage those previous years, so it doesn't, wouldn't affect us. On any of those years we didn't go up. You can see in 13 we had 3.16, 14 we had 2.07, and then you got 1.46, and then this year is 1.62. You can technically go back for 3 years and recap the millage that you didn't do for those 3 years if you wanted to. But I mean, that's just, I feel like I need to explain the law to you so you at least know what the law is. Some of y'all may be old on that, but that's what it is. You can see on that part. But, this year's budget did not, so far the proposed budget that the budget committee is proposing. You want to hand those out? Here's Fund 10, which is revenue expenditures. John, pass it around.
One place this case is the expense side, this is the revenue side. That's it, revenue side.
You got some extra copies, you should have some extra copies. Betsy, you got some extra copies.
Anybody have one?
It's got an extra copy. I'm going to go out, just take one of these, this one of these sheets, this is Fund 20.
That's good.
You should have some extra copies. You should have a good bit of extra copies, actually.
That's kind of a summary of the expense for major changes.
Betsy, here's another one.
A lot of paperwork.
Yeah, it should be.
I'm going to go ahead and start with the general fund revenue, and I'll let Richard probably explain the expenses since he's thinking more of expenses than probably I am. The revenue for general fund, you can see 446,790 at the top. That's basically where it is. Last year we budgeted $446,790 out of cash reserve to balance the budget for that particular year. All the revenues basically were the same for this year. The current taxes, delinquent taxes are pretty much the same as what we budgeted for this year as for last year, and they're pretty close to coming in. Some may be a little over, some may be a little less, but overall I think they're pretty much in line with what they were last year. And you can see sort of where it says actual, that's what it was last year. You can kind of see, give you an idea of where it was. A couple of highlights that I did highlight through there that I did change. The animal control fees, last year we were doing a lot more of the animal control fees and collecting the fees and doing the stuff ourselves. This year we've got outside agencies that are basically participating more, so the revenue's down. We're still doing the spade and neuter program, but the actual revenue is coming from their department.
Who are the outside people that's helping with the animals?
They've got Humane Society, they've got, what's that lady? I can't think of the lady. Anyway, they have some individuals, and they've got Humane Society and 3 or 4 other agencies that are helping them, with the same programs that help out. Mary Daniel and her crowd there too, and so different outside people that are helping them too in that. So even though they're not collecting as much revenue, they're still turning out the number of animals getting spayed and neutered and getting rescued and that type of stuff. So that's why that part's down. I highlighted so you would know it. The next page is pretty much the same revenues we got from the previous years. Before I go on, basically this current section in here is mainly the current taxes, delinquent taxes. The homestead exemption is, if you get a homestead exemption, we turn that into the state every year, about this time of the year, about April, and we get our money back in either April or May of every year. Merchant's inventory is done by the state. Manufacturer exemption is done by the state too. We basically send the information. The road maintenance fee, we budgeted about $950,000, and we collect about that much, $960,000, $950,000, somewhere near, depending on that. The vehicle taxes, you can see what they were. Decals, fees, that comes through Jamie's office. She charges an additional fee for some of those fees for that. Hospitality tax is on that. The fire fee, last year we got brought in right at $300,000, $298,000. That's based on the $35 fee there. One of the improvements I think over the years, I think we've made a substantial increase in, is the ambulance fees going through Low Country Billing. We've done a pretty good job there. When I first came to Dillon years ago, we were collecting a little over $100,000 a year, $150 maybe or somewhere there. And now you see we're collecting right at close to $1 million. So that's been a substantial increase there. The second page deals a lot with mainly with the solid waste. A number of years ago, we consolidated the solid waste department in with the general fund. At one time, it was what we call a proprietary fund. We changed it, we put it in with the general fund. As you can see right there, landfill boxes, that number there, you can see there, 407 is what we budgeted. Last year, we got a little extra revenue because of the storm. C&D, you got the interest out there. We do keep it separated for that, whatever comes in from that. IWP, we still, even though we closed the IWP landfill, we used to have IWP for years and years and years. We closed it last year, a couple of years ago. DHEC required us to close it. We've already closed it, capped it, did everything we can. That was when Goodson basically did the workforce out there. We do collect the IWP from the industry, but it's basically dumped on the transfer station floor and it's hauled to Lee County. So we are actually collecting the IWP. We're just not putting it in the IWP landfill like we used to. We can't do that. The MSW, last year we collected about 938, and that's a moving target. It kind of goes up or down depending on what it, depends on how much waste you come in.
What is MSW? I don't even know what it stands for.
Yeah, the MSW is the municipal solid waste. That's all the waste that basically comes into the transfer station and is dumped on the transfer station and pushed into the trucks that basically haul it to the open container trucks that haul it to Lee County. So if you see our trucks going down to Lee County, that's what it is. It's hauling that waste to Lee County. And we charge about $45 a ton. Is that right, Richard? It's 45? I don't know exactly. 45, whatever it is. Yeah, 48. And we're charging, 47, 48. And they charge us about $23 or $4 a ton, something like that, to dispose of that. You can see the tires, recycling scrap, the sludge, and that type of stuff. So other revenues we bring in from that. On the next page, on page 3, we went through. I made some adjustments here. The first one is the fee in lieu. is the $300,000, and I kind of underlined that. That's the money that council's already approved. We approved the agreement with Lyman Gordon, and we also approved the agreement with Harbor Freight and all. And we actually approved a separate agreement to create a special fee in lieu. There's about 6 or 8 industries that will participate. We'll actually take the $300,000 off the top. Of course, a portion of the Harbor Freight money is going to go to the Tri-County Committee and to the other 2 counties. But there will be a portion that Dillon County will actually receive, and that should be around $300,000 to get that. So that should help us, get our money back and we put in some new projects. One of the areas that basically, we've had some concern with the last couple of years is the federal prisoners at the bottom. We used to collect around 800,000 or 900,000. Now we're down to about 500 something thousand, about 540,000. That's just, it's nothing we've done. It's just they're not collecting. They're not housing as many federal prisoners as we used to. So it's nothing we can do. We've tried to, get to work with them, but they just, I talked to 2 other counties and they're down too. So it seems that it appears that everybody, they just don't have as many of them as they once did on that.
Hey, while you on that page, while you turn that page, let's go to that school resource officer. Because this is it'll be the 3rd year that we've doing this.
That's right.
On the first year, we said we want to do it on a trial basis.
Right.
Now, and we still doing it.
Right.
And the school got plenty of money, but I don't see why this money's been pushed back to the county on our back. This is money that we could use somewhere else. I don't know how the other councilman feels about it, but I think we need to bounce out of that. Let someone else handle it. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's our portion.
We can't even give our own workers a raise, but we can do this. We can find money to do this. I don't understand that.
This will be year 3 coming up.
Let me ask you a quick question, Clay, to ride in on Mr. Goins said, don't we have a partnership with the school?
Yeah, it's something we
will provide it for them.
Yeah, we provide our goal, like I said, provide every school a resource also.
I serve as a school resource officer now.
But they put in, it's not us paying for all of it.
Like they match it with
Yeah.
170, and they pick up some
Yeah.
also. They pick up some of that.
What I'm saying is I don't see why we pay any of it. Now Mr. Bowles did a survey on that when we first started. And he said some counties do it, some don't. All counties didn't do it. And
I think it's
I guess
important
we
we have school resource
it's
officers.
important that the school handle it. I think that's important. It's important for our workers to have a raise. I think that's important. They haven't had a raise in how many years?
We get bonuses. Yeah, about 4 or 5.
Yeah. Now, but we find money for this. We can't find money for our workers. So, me personally, I'm just one councilman. I'd say we need to bounce out of that. We have the time here trying to find money to do this and do that. And I'm not saying that's not important to have a school resource officer. I'm saying that they will still have one even if we got out of it. Somebody will pick up that cost.
But I think I look at it like this, and I understand everybody has their own opinion, but I think it's just good to know that working with a joint effort with the school and the county together is trying to work to keep kids safe in school, and I just think that speaks volumes for the council that works along with the school. And I understand how you feel, I know it's budget time and everything is in a crunch and everything's probably hard, but I just like the idea that when it looks in the eyes of the people, that there's a joint effort that's being made through the county and the school to keep our kids safe. And I'll rest for that, Mr. Chairman.
All right, I'm going to page 4. 4 pretty much is standard what we got, same thing we did last year. I didn't want to make a reference to this, so just make clarification here. If you see down here where it says 260 and it says Department of Transportation, if you can't really make out, it says C-Fund. If you read it on that, if it's printed on that, it says C-Fund. The way the C-Funds work, is the C-Fund committee will basically come up with a list of roads that they want to fund, and then they submit that information to Columbia and to the Department of Transportation. But then all the money comes through us. It comes through the county. So that's why we put it in the general fund. That 260 is either up or down depending on how much money they spend during the year. but it's kind of a pass-through, I hate to say, it's kind of another pass-through agency through us. So we did want to make clarification on that. It's not anything that this council can do to change it. It's just that the money actually comes through us. I have to sign off on their vouchers, but usually the vouchers are, something they approve and the state's already approved. So before I sign off on it, I got to make sure all those vouchers and everything are approved. But we do actually run it through this. It's actually comes in as revenue, and then Richard will show you, but it actually goes through as expenses too. So on that, but it just comes in this way and goes out through the expense department.
I can't hear.
You can't hear me? You can't hear you.
I'll put it over here too. And I'll put it over here a little bit too. We'll do it. I'll come closer. How about that, Darcy? That's all right. That's fine. And then, like I said, on that too, that's pretty much on page 4. Page 5 is where I did make some adjustments for page 5, and I highlighted those. Local government fund is the money we get from Columbia. Used to be called 80 subdivisions years ago. Now they call it local government fund. We pretty much can get what they usually project is what they send us some information from the state, and that's what they sent from the state this year. Is we should get $1,211,364. So it's really not up to us. It's really what the state said.
What on the board, are they gonna say the same thing, or they gonna increase it?
Well, we hope.
They still having a battle with it.
Yeah.
They don't know that definitely is, what I can understand.
And see, unfortunately, and Archie's right, unfortunately, is that you won't know what that final number is until the legislature actually passes the budget, which will be the first week of June. So this is what they're telling us it's going to be right now. So we won't know it actually until the first week of June whenever they do it. And then really we may not know then until the legislature comes back and the governor vetoes it. And the legislature may have to come back and deal with the vetoes or how they're going to deal with it. But this is the number they're projecting to us at this point.
They haven't funded us how long now?
It's been at least 10 years, 10, 15 years to be fully funded. And that part's been changed a number of times too around. So it's a big amount to look at statewide.
What is that they talking about, we can cut back the things we was having to for living the state with it?
They've talked about that. That's something, basically what their argument is that the state says we give you this money.
Yeah.
And therefore, you should provide office space and do stuff for state agencies that we already do, like DSS and some of the other agencies and stuff, and Department of Juvenile Justice and Clemson and some of these other agencies we provide. And that's what we do. Basically, they say that those monies should go back and help offset our costs associated with that, is what they said that, we're looking at seeing what some of the rules are. The rules haven't changed yet, but I mean, there are some rules in Columbia that they're looking at as possible changes, but we'll let you know on that. The lost property tax is the money we get from the local option sales tax. We get, the way this county is designed is we get about 75% that we roll back to the citizens, and then the 25% is what we get to keep that we don't roll back. But that number's actually been increasing every year, which is good. It shows that sales tax has been going up in the county every year so far. We've been doing pretty good for what we budgeted. Last year we budgeted 1.5. We actually collected around 1.8. So I moved it up to 1.7 because we don't really know exactly what that number is going to be until the end of the year. We get a portion of our local revenue, which comes with, it actually comes in 2 checks. We get 1 check local option sales tax, then we get another check from the state, which is what we call our lost money, but it's actually the local option sales tax. That $257 that we budgeted is basically, that's half. We get half the money. We give the other half to the school district. The school district gets the other half. We get only 50% of that money there, and that's been kind of an agreement we've had with them for a number of years on that too. So last year we got close to $350. This year I left it at $257.
Yeah. And and I know that's a gentleman's agreement. There is no written document that says we have to give half that money to them. We do it as a gentleman's agreement. So
That is
there's
correct.
nothing binding in case. I just want all 7 councilmen to know that. at the same time. That's the only thing, I know that we just do that. We don't have a written agreement, and we don't have a written agreement with Northeastern Tech either to give them 2 meals a year. There is no written agreement. That's a gentleman's agreement, that we fund Northeastern Tech. And this county council, I want to point out, we're, I would say, over $500,000 a year, we help the schools out. A lot of people don't give us credit for doing anything to help the schools. But between the resource officers and Northeastern Tech and this gentleman's agreement with this, I'm sure that this county council's contributing $500,000 a year toward the education in this county of some sort.
That is correct. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. Like I said, and the rest of the revenues are pretty much the same. But I'm not gonna spend all my time going through this. Really, you can flip all the way over to the last page, and it just shows you how, this report here we run, last year's budget was around $18,573,000. This year, the number I put up there was $17,981,113. And I'm gonna let Richard go through some of the expenses, and you want to go through this with them. Yeah, this should be into the actual. Yeah, go ahead, that's fine.
Quick question, on 18 million that you said that we estimated on the proposed budget here, but sometimes we end up over according to the Social Security County website.
Yeah.
We end up getting like 20-something.
Yeah, and that's a good question. I'm glad you brought that up too, because what you have sometimes situations, you have grants that come in during the year. You may have a GO bond that you do during the year. Monies that may come in, due to either revenues or expenditures may come in during the year. So, and then also they also take Fund 45. The auditors do. They take Fund 45 and they go back in and put it in as part of the general fund. We just break it out because it's easy for us to kind of keep up with, or for me to keep up with for sure. But they take Fund 45, put it back in there into the general fund. So it may show, the audit may show, the audit that Chuck Tower and Webster Rogers showed, may show that we spent $25 million or $26 million, I think, or something like that. But a lot of times you need to look at the revenue expenditures, you need to find out where that came in. So it's kind of a, auditing part, auditing what they do.
So in other words, you're counting all your grants and all that money, you're putting all that into this.
They'll stick it all in the general fund. They'll put it all in the general fund. So it looks like that we're over where we may not be. So if we get a grant or a GO bond or something like that, like for instance, we got a $2 million grant. Got some money from Lyman Gordon, we got from Harbor Freight. All that will be thrown back into the general fund at the end of the year by the auditors. Show. But what I like to do is break it out and show you where it's actually coming from. So if I try to throw it all in the general fund, it's more confusing. I think it's more confusing to be it that way.
But they're putting it all in the general fund.
They're sticking it all back in.
You look at your audit report, it's all showed up as.
It throws it all back in there. But this way here, you can figure out exactly where it's going. So you'll know exactly where it is.
With these two sheets, I'll kind of work off of. So this one is kind of color. And the other sheet, that's 2 pages of budget request. That's kind of a summary of this sheet. It depends on how much time y'all want to spend on this. You kind of go over the summary and then kind of maybe glance through the longer sheet and see what y'all have questions on. Anyway, we just start with the shortest, so kind of summary, get through a little bit quicker. And these are mostly requests. On the other one, we already had some concerns on this one, but the recreation fund for the county council, we think about raising that up to $4,000 per council member. Whatever y'all's thoughts are on that.
I personally think that, it's a good thing, and one reason being is that we will be able to help more people in our community. A lot of times there are people who have legitimate needs for donations, and because we have the limited amount of funds available, we're not able to help them. I think an increase in this recreation fund, I think we'll be able to reach more people, be able to help more people, and I would be willing to, to support that.
So let me ask you a question. If you raise that up to 4,000, you got a certain group comes to ask for money, it's not gonna come out of the general fund, it's gonna come from one of, just like last year when I came with the ball team, you got ball teams coming, going to the World Series, state tournament, each councilman will have to give money, the county would, is what you're saying.
You could do it that way. I mean, the ball teams, we have treated it a little bit differently. It'll be more like ours, some more the agencies that come to us, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, different agencies that come to us, you know.
Your
stuff
team
like
went
that.
a lot farther, and a lot of those teams went to Myrtle Beach, y'all went somewhere.
We went to Louisiana.
We had to get y'all more money, because y'all went a lot farther. But we'd have, if we did it this way, we'd have to all team up together and give them money, and that
Each one will give you $25 a piece, we don't get what you got last
I mean, that's what this copy, yeah, I won't make it to live.
But that's not necessarily, I see what you're saying. That's not necessarily, you're basically saying that if need be, we still could get it from the general fund somewhere.
Good.
If
If council wanted to.
council deemed necessary, we'd really have to get it from the, there's other people who come to us in other situations that need donations, that we just don't have enough money to reach as council members. It's like Robbie and Steve, we both need one of those Robbie anyway.
Excuse me,
That's all right, go ahead.
if we still get it from the county, I think 4,000 was too much for the council, but maybe we can, we should have more than 1,000.
Right.
I mean, that's just a.
No, I agree. I understand.
Anybody got any more comments?
Anything's better than nothing, what I got.
We got a lot.
I'd like to see about like Chairman Finklea said, maybe $1,500 or something, I know that don't sound like much. And then if we need something extra, we can always, if 4 out of 7 council agrees on it, we can get it from the general fund. But not in that district. No, it wouldn't be in that district,
There you go. That's the thing I'm looking at, is to be able to help each individual district a little more. I mean, we all realize we got people, whether we all can come to the table and agree or not, we got people who lean on us sometimes.
If we go to $4,000, we got a 400% increase.
My district, I gave $25, I wish I could have gave 50.
Right, that's what I'm saying, we don't
They
have,
deserve it.
right, we don't have the resources right now. And the increase in this would help us, we
Turn it in
need
half.
more people.
Can we do 2?
I agree with you, I can compromise.
I agree with that, Council.
I would do 2,000.
2,000?
2,000.
I can do that.
I agree with that.
I would agree, I don't have a problem. That still, that'll be able to, we'll be able to help more people than we've been able to help in the past. Thanks, sir.
Thank y'all. Other request was, Randy Grantley's, ambulance, he says needing 3 new ambulances this year.
And he had some rebounded not too long ago.
Yeah, he had something remounted. He got one that was wrecked, we didn't do anything with, and then we're gonna take a look at that. I think the budget committee's gonna take a look at all these and then make a recommendation back to you. Where we're at.
Sure hate to have a problem with the ambulance, sir.
Sir?
Sure hate to have a problem with the ambulance, sir.
Right, but we just done something not too long ago.
Yeah, we did.
We did. Can we just have?
Yeah, that's fine,
Yeah, I think the,
maybe just to get y'all's feelings on some of these things.
Can we have, just recommend it to the committee meeting? Public safety committee, then we'll look at it then.
Yeah.
We'll do that. We'll set the public safety committee.
There, Randy comes to the meeting.
yeah, we will.
We'll do that.
The other one, software upgrade, I think we're gonna try to put that off a year.
Yeah.
And that was really dealing, what we're gonna have to, that's for Steve Rogers. If he's not gonna, update the appraisals, he won't need that. Other one is Danny Holder, Information Technology. He says he needs to replace his laptop and his desktop. He said it's about 4 or 5 years old. That might be legitimate.
We'll take that at computer services probably.
Okay, computer services.
Right.
Another thing, I don't think we really gonna need that other additional air conditioning unit. We put one in and I think it's maintained pretty well.
Right.
Next one on the list, another one's, and this is gonna take some more research on our part, but, Danny Holder, this is for the computer switches. He said that the switches we have now are not SLED compliant. They thought we were gonna have to change those. That's about $350,000. And I would look into it, but I don't really know where to look in at it. Right, yeah.
Those switches are located.
What is that?
I guess that's what the data goes through.
At the new Justice Center?
No, not New Justice Center, we updated there, but it's one running through the courthouse. Kind of runs all this data and stuff through.
$350,000 just for the courthouse?
Well, that'll be for all the other agencies that run through there.
We'll take another look at that.
It's like seven switches.
What does a computer switch actually do, Richard? I'm not.
Basically, what it does is it takes the data and runs it through to the right locations, and SLED requires you to have certain firewalls set up by those switches so somebody can't hack into it. So the switch basically protects you from being hacked into from somebody, like the clerk of court, the
county council,
magistrates, the county council, wherever our network goes, and all these computers, like Windows computer, everybody's hooked up, it'll have to go through that switch, and that switch will have to be designed where somebody couldn't hack into it.
Well, let me ask you this. I don't know too much about computers, but I do know this. They change every year.
They do.
Now, if we spend that money this year
Right.
on that, next year, what's to say that it might come back again where we got to change, they figure out a way to get into it.
Yeah, I think the switches he's got now about 6 years old.
Yeah, 6 or 7 years old. Yeah.
Mr. Young is just an old layman that just knows how to cut a computer on. You said this is all located in the courthouse?
Yeah, basically through his computer system at the courthouse.
Well, with that computer center, Justice Center, why wasn't all this incorporated in this new Justice Center where if it's remotely done, if the computers here go through there and SLED goes, why didn't we put that in Justice Center?
Well, basically, we've got a T1 line run all the different locations. So it's technically, wherever we put the computer, he runs our computer system through his too. So the switch actually runs our computer system along with the sheriff and everybody else.
Did they run firewall optic lines through these buildings?
And they ran the T1 lines, they're all fiber, they're on the ground now. So it used to be.
The sheriff's office, I remember running some wire ago.
Right. But what we'll do is we'll have Randy, I'll have Danny come and talk to the budget committee about it. There's an opportunity for us to actually go to the cloud, and that may be something we need to look at because that's where everybody else is going, technically. So you wouldn't need the switches if you did that. So I don't, like Randy said, there's technology spinning every day, and it may be on that too. But anyway, I'll check on the breakdown on that.
The best advice I ever heard about buying a computer is to wait as long as you can to get cheaper and faster all the time. I think anything kind of put that off if we can get by. But they talked about this, so the code enforcement needs replace a truck there. We got about $260,000. Basically, we can kind of scale that back to be just a regular truck, kind of stripped down truck, so probably maybe look at 25,000 instead of 35.
Need another tanker?
Yeah, that's for Lada. Has requested another tanker. I think the one they got now is leaking pretty bad.
That's 20 years old, the tank just really good out on.
And it's already in the budget, so it's already included in the budget.
It's already
in the Fund 4. So Fund 10 is already there, so it's already a part of the budget.
Let's see, fire department 4 needs a brush truck. I think theirs is about wore out everywhere it can be wore out.
So not the next group.
Fire department 5, they're looking air tanks. We try to switch around, see what we can find on the air tanks. We think some other fire departments might have some that's already out there. Budget committee, didn't feel like the thermal camera out there was really necessary. They got 4 sets of turnout gear. We need to try to shop around some of this turnout gear, see what we can do. See if anybody's got any left over that they're using, not using. Oak Grove requested about 10,000. They got some building repair, but I think we can probably handle that out of the budget maintenance. They wanted a remote nozzle for a brush truck. We still haven't quite made a decision on that, but they might can get that out of their regular capital expenditures. That's what we want to spend all the money on that. The Sheriff Department requested an additional $25,000 in salary because he's going to need a guard at the new judicial center that sits out front. I think he's got somebody already picked that's kind of retired.
About Station 6, they'll put an engineer down there.
We had.
We don't need to discuss it while we're discussing this, about like the sheriff getting extra. I mean, don't we need to discuss that now?
You can do it now, or you can do it anytime's fine. You do it now if you
I'd
want.
like to go ahead and discuss it now.
Okay.
Station 6 needs at least one engineer out there. And I've talked with some of the volunteers, and they said they willing to go out there and help, you know, like they do these other fire departments, for volunteers. And Station 5, I talked to Herald about that, covering might his district. And we need a third person up there, because at 7 o'clock at night, 5 o'clock on the weekend, all those nice homes and everything, ain't got nobody up there. Do you have any problem with that, Mr. Moody? Station 5? At night, Derek then goes home, goes to North Carolina. We don't have nobody there at night. Like all that McFarland Lake and all Little Rock, don't have nobody to come out. We need a third person there at that one.
They just got a first shift.
First shift. 5 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday, 7 o'clock on weekdays.
You're right.
And most of your stuff's coming out at night a lot of times, your fire and stuff.
Calvin, let me ask you a question. If you was to get a farm engineer for Station 6, what would be the hours that you want somebody up there?
I would leave that up to the administrator. I think it'd be better if you had one there that works some night shift, rotated. You know what I'm saying? If you could just, a lot of times your fire happens at night. Now, that's my opinion.
I wrote it there, looked at your station up there, and
Yeah.
I thought
I'd let the administrator handle that for it. All I've been asking for one engineer up there.
I looked at
Help those people.
I rode through there and looked at your station up there, and it is setting off by itself. I would agree with that, and just my opinion, I thought if you were able to get someone, it'd probably be good to put somebody from 6 in the afternoon to 6 in the morning.
That would be good with me. Just to show the people we at least can't give them something about the stop.
I think you would have to protect the county investment up there, because you know how theft is. I mean, you go through there, nobody's there. They can steal the carpet out of the building, can take your air conditioning, and then you create some more problems.
We got about 250,000 miles tied up out there, sitting out there in the middle of nowhere by itself. Yeah, nice homes, yeah.
Are we talking hiring extra people or just moving some engineers around?
I don't think they really got nothing to move around. I think they're going to try to find some money to, at least get somebody, at least 1 or 2 at the most. Clay, what do you think? What's your opinion on that, Clay?
Yeah,
we don't need one to start with, see how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Just be like Oak Grove, have at least one to show you.
We committed ourselves to school resource officers, where I feel like we should keep, because we made an agreement with the school. But this year, this is important as the school resource.
Yeah.
How much does an engineer cost the county?
It's about salaries around $2,600,000, and then you got, of course, you got the benefits, with it, health insurance and retirement stuff. Probably another
20% on top of that.
Yeah, 8 or 10%.
Probably 33.
Yeah, 33.
I can tell you how much to carry home every 2 weeks on how much.
No, and that's just, that includes all.
I know you got to add that to it, but.
And that's, like I said, that's included to give retirement, insurance and all that too.
It's 26 is the bottom line.
Around 26.5,
With everything included?
26.5 something, and then you got the health insurance, retirement. And benefits.
26 and everything included.
No, that
26 would be the base.
26 would be the base, 26.5 would be the base, and then you gotta have the benefits on top of it.
About 20% on top of base salary.
That's right, that's right.
52.
32, 33. something.
So you talking about promoting these people from within the rank or bringing in someone new from somewhere else?
You bring in someone new, but you ain't got nobody, just like at Station 6, ain't nobody out there now, you don't have an engineer for that fire department. And up there at 57 at night, you know, at 5 o'clock in the evening, they lock the door, and if a house catches on fire in the Carolina section, they have to come all the way from Dillon.
So do you think we could come up with some funding to get this done without doing an increase in taxes or anything? I mean, I'd be willing to support as long as we got.
As long as we're not taxing.
Yeah.
We have any place you in the date where two engineers are working at the same place at the same time?
Except one got ambulances, you know, some places got ambulances, but move that.
Anybody safe about it?
One of the doctors told me that he had a grass fire up at McClure Lake and, you know, just about burn up everything, you know. It was after 5 o'clock and, you know, both engineers was out of road, you know, and so it just takes them a while to get there, you know.
I could support an engineer at McLaurin Lake because that's fire department from here. It takes them about 12 minutes to get out there. But when you leave that fire department and get to where 57 breaks off or runs into number 9 there at Little Rock, that's 5 miles right there. So you got it, they're about 12 miles out there. And I know everybody says, well, they don't have that many fires. Well, Station 5, everywhere you go up there is 5 miles. You run out of Dillon, you still, the territory covered is, you've got 5 miles and you still won't cover to the state line. I could say, an engineer at Station 5, I could take a hard look at that because Station 1 is beating them there because the engineers both live in Roland, have to drive there to get the truck, try to answer the call. If they had a third engineer up there, we already got a full service fire department up there, we just don't have a third engineer.
Yeah, I would say one other follow-up comment to that too is that I would like to see us, and I did talk to Randy Greensley about it too, is that there's some EMS problems up there because it is so far away, you know what I mean? And I mean, the thing about it is we pull all the way from Dillon. If somebody's up on the Highway 9, like you're going to Clyde or something, or up there on the Marlboro County line, they come all the way from Dillon. So, you know, I know Randy Grimsey and I would probably see if we could put at least somebody up there 8 and 5 that would kind of work hand in hand with EMS and fire like we do.
Right with the fire tax, how much do people in the county, the individuals, house, how much they have to pay a year for fire tax?
They pay $35 a year. And that's just the people that live, you know, outside the towns. You know, I mean, they don't, you know, the town people don't, the city people don't pay it. It's just the town.
Go a little bit on the fire thing, $35.
Well, that's another tax you add on, you know, I mean, I just feel
They
like,
gonna save money though, because this will bring the sugar.
let's get these 2016 elections behind us and then we might even consider that, you know what I'm saying, for the point. You know,
Well, this is a workshop anyhow.
Just a workshop.
We're talking right now, we're not voting, so we can come back and decide these issues in the next one.
But I just feel like those people up there pay the same fire fee as the ones in Carolina, the ones in Lakeview, the ones in Lima. And like Mr. Chairman Finklea said, they have got nice homes out there. And, you know, they deserve something out there. I mean, we ain't asking for 3 like the rest of them, we just asking for 1.
Well, you couldn't justify doing that without doing Bangor.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, doing
You
Bangor.
have to do that too. Do Dalton, you gotta put the engineer in Bangor.
And then you got Oakland might want one, and then you got Floydale might want 1 or 2.
Oakland's got enough.
Well, we
They ain't
don't,
got none.
well, we don't want Oakland and we don't want
Oakland have
Floydale.
a
They
fire
run
department.
independently.
We got Upgrove with one engineer.
They doing good at Oakland.
We own it.
I tell you what I'll do, give me one there from Station 4, and then we'll have enough.
No, they're independent.
Station 4 moved in. Just one of them.
Rob, you know I'm not gonna agree with that. You know you pulled on my chain, so you got me now, I'm gonna say.
I'm just picking at you.
I stretched my limit years ago when I voted to build a fire department up there. I filled out all my IOUs to that community when I raised my hand to build that fire department. I don't think they have enough fires up there that warrant an engineer. I'll say it on Main Street and in here. I could see 5, because that's a full service fire department with it's out there far enough, and you got a little sliver down going to Bingham. And you can cover Bingham with Station 1, Station 5, or Oak Road without any problem. That's my opinion.
That's Mr. Moody's opinion. But I think, listen to the council, I know we ain't taking action on it, but I think most of us are in agreement, let's get one at Bingham.
Where would the money come from, Clay?
Budget committee's gonna have to sit down and look and see what they can adjust, okay, or whatever they got, or see what it is, you know. I'll let the budget committee make a recommendation
You
back.
said a word that council don't like to hear, cut. You said adjust or cut? Cut what?
I'll have to go in there and look at departments and see what it is, you know.
Mr. Young, I'll give you reference. I think that's gonna have to be a full council decision where they're gonna cut. Because they're only 3 on the budget committee.
Right. It's, we'll look at the rest of the stuff basically is just other requests they've got, other departments that the budget committee is still looking at.
Okay, we can go ahead on. This was his son, 911. He wants to update his CAD system, his computer system. Everything he does will be based on the 80% reimbursement. That's whatever he buys will be paid 20%. Disaster preparedness, that was really a reimbursement for the LEMPG grant. The 700 smoke alarm was not going to be reimbursed. You did away with that. And probably do one laser fire extinguisher, the training tool. Probably knock that down to 2 to 1. But
What's the laser fire thing?
it's really a training thing. He puts up a screen, you got a fire extinguisher in it, and you practice with that. And that's what, he had 2 down there, probably just go with 1. And it'll be based on being reimbursed from the state. The next one, roads and bridges, that's probably something we really need to do is do 200,000 to buy the road plows that are coming off a lease. It comes up in January. Benedict also requested a water pump to pump the water out of the bar pits. And that's with GIS mapping. That's Melissa, we hadn't really made too much of a decision.
I think I can get that out of the council budget, out of the regular fund too.
The other one is transfer station, needs a roll-off truck. We've looked a little bit further into that. I think we've kind of found him a pickup truck. It's just kind of an old truck to get by out there at the landfill. Library circulation desk, she should have money in her account to do that. Development board is requesting computers and printers. We'll probably pay for that out of computer services and building improvements. We'll kind of look into that since building is requiring a lot of work. I think Larry said he had a lot more going, so kind of knock that out.
Yeah, what we'll probably do is we'll probably have a public safety committee meeting along with the budget committee concerning the ambulances and stuff. And we'll probably lease purchase those. We'll probably set up a lease purchase to do those without taking out his department. Just don't have any redo and how we do it. That's the only way. The rest of the stuff we're gonna take a look at and see. I don't know what we can find, what we can't find.
And then increase that bottom figure, what's that bottom figure from? And then increase that bottom figure.
Yeah, that's if you fulfill everybody's request. It's 1.6 million.
service. I know you got it now breaking down different parts. How much is the total that we are spending in that kind of service a year? For everything? Extra lawyers and certifying and all that, professional contracts.
Mainly that's.
I know you got it broken down here, but wouldn't it be better to put it all in one line item and keep up with that?
Yeah, I mean, all the professional services usually deal with attorney fees or surveys or, stuff we do with, with lawyers or economic development or, stuff like that.
Instead of having $50,000 in this department, $100,000 in that, and 20 in that one.
Well,
Wouldn't it be better to put it under one line item?
No, we break it up so we know which department it's coming out of. So that's the thing. That's why we, like professional services in transfer station is that deals with our engineers that basically do work at the landfill. So therefore, to be able to track it, it's easier to put it in that particular department. You know what I mean? So, it wouldn't be under county council.
It's also better to get lost in there like that.
Well, I mean, you just look at each department, it's got professional and contractual services. That's why we do that. If you didn't do it, the auditors would be searching for it, and they'd go back in there and put it in there anyway. So they'd say it doesn't have anything to do with that. But I mean, that's why we separate it out. But you will see, like I said, we looked at reducing some of the costs on that. Page 2 is, we looked at basically, the attorney is kind of a moving target. We're going to figure out what we need to do with that. But I did highlight that part of it there. So we'll look at that. I did take out the contingency, 100,000 contingency, because last year we basically, this year we're going to just put it in the budget because we don't know what the contingency is going to be. So we'll just put extra increases in the budget on a certain particular line item. But page 3 is finance. Got a little less there in salaries what we had previously budgeted for that. Code enforcement is a little bit of page 4. It's just everywhere you see in yellow is pretty much, it may have been a reduction here, small reduction in that one there too. If we do.
Back up just a second. This attorney, the years have been 53.5.
Right.
What's the reason of cutting it down to 37?
Well, if we get a new attorney or get a new situation, it may be less money. But I mean, that's still a moving target. I mean, that's just what we projected out. Now, we may end up raising that more than that. You know what I mean? That's just a starting point. But that's what it would be with benefits and retirement, that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
It went down by $16,000.
Well, like I said, a little bit.
I know that's just the base, I mean.
Right.
Or the county employee part of it.
Right, that's correct. And like I said, if you look through, rest of the departments are pretty much the same except the ones we highlighted here. Like I said, page 5, code enforcement, tax assessor, we reduced some of that from 6 down to 3. Some of the other ones we didn't really adjust too much.
The reds are the ones that we increased, yellows decreased.
Right. Most of them are like, even over to page 10, all the departments are pretty much the same. I can go through each line if you want me to. But if you look and see what was budgeted, it's pretty much the same as what they were. If you look at page 10, I did cut the mattress from 10 to 5 because they pretty much bought their equipment this year. They pretty much bought they've already bought all the equipment to make the move over to the Justice Center. So I did leave them $5,000 there for that. Page 12 has got a cut there too, you know what I mean?
Mr. Young, would it be much better to make this more detailed where we could read it a lot easier as far as, just like the recreation, you got 75,000. But only in your mind, where this goes and that goes. Wouldn't it be better to detail it, put where that 75 went, in the details?
Well, you would put 50 for the city of Dillon, and then 15 for Light and 10 for Lake.
That's what I'm saying, detail it.
Break that out.
Yeah, break it out. Well, we'll know exactly what we give them.
That's fine. Don't really matter.
That way, in case you go or something, Richard might need to show us where it's at, or James Sue, or vice versa.
I think they can figure it out. I don't think that's too.
Sir, could you explain on page 12 your?
Yeah, I was going to get it out. I'm glad you got that. I got page 12 here. Basically, it says administration of justice highlighted here. 90,000 solicitors, what we give them. The family court judge, we've been paying around 20,000. Last year we paid a little over 20,000. We cut that out. so we could buy her space either here, somewhere in the county. And then the jurors, basically, I just reduced it by 3,000 because we only spent 20-something thousand last year.
Go back to the top, you said provide her space. You've already, do she not have a?
She's got space in the Justice Center. So she's gonna have space available in the Justice Center. What else I got in there, Richard? Let's see.
Well, we kind of covered the one with a tank for LIDA, fire department.
Yeah, page 15 shows LIDA, and it shows in here, like I said, the capital purchase is $40,000 for a tanker. That's what we spent last year, and some of the other departments last year, page 15. And fire calls, just, it's kind of a moving target on that.
Page 18, kind of reduced oak growth, because that's what we bought this tanker for them last year.
Yeah,
So that should be okay.
last year, Oak Grove, page 18, the 40,000 was for, we bought the tanker, but I ended up giving them another 5, and so that's pretty much in line with everybody else. They got their tanker last year.
You decreased it in yellow, and increased in red, what you said?
Yeah.
Have you already covered the bonuses for the employees?
The bonuses are in there, they're same as they were last year. We'll give them there around, right before what I call a holiday in there, right there at Thanksgiving. Right there, that time like we normally give it to them. But it's in here, bonus is in here. Those are the rest of them, just a couple of them here I want to go over so you can know.
So I can depend on when I go home tonight, I can look over this and
Yeah.
depend on that.
Yeah.
Whatever
Question
question
you got.
affected those that are marked.
Right.
Yeah. There might be a couple of them that it might change by $500, so I didn't know that. I think anything over about 500.